So we're going to talk about big ideas and essential questions for the editorials unit. This is on the editorials page of the class website. You don't have to go there right now. You can drop your screens. We're just going to look at it up here, okay? We have a big idea for writing and a big idea for reading. And then we have an essential question for writing, essential question for reading. So I want to go over them with you and make sure that you understand. These big ideas are the understandings that I hope you come to. My plan is that you will come to understand these things by the end of the unit. After we read a bunch of editorials and you start writing them, these are the things that I want you to walk away from the end of this unit understanding, Riley, about editorials. So the first one, reading, the big idea for reading. Through editorial reading, we see that the issues that we feel frustrated or overwhelmed by are not unique to us. Think about that. When we read an editorial, we realize that the things that we're frustrated by, other people are frustrated by too. Did you find that to be true in any of the editorials that you read? Did you read an editorial yet where you kind of agreed with that author or you got kind of fired up about that thing, that topic, whatever? Okay, good, excellent. What was one of them, Wesley?
The one about the kids' beauty pageants.
Yes.
Creepy.
Yeah. What's another one that you got kind of, you agreed and you realized, yeah, I think the same thing. Omar. The homework one, absolutely. Okay, so the more editorials you read, what I want you to come away with is this understanding that you're not alone in the things that frustrate you, the current issues that are frustrating you, or that you feel overwhelmed by, that other people are too, and you're hearing that from them in their editorials. The big idea for writing is that when you write an editorial, you are contributing to something called community discourse. What is that? When you write an editorial, you contribute to community discourse. Look it up. Everybody open your laptops. Look up the word discourse. What does that mean? Wesley, what do you have?
Written or spoken communication or debate.
Written or spoken communication or debate. Okay, so debate, communication, it can be spoken or written. We're on the right track. What else can we say about discourse? Maud?
A formal discussion of a subject in speech or writing.
A formal discussion of a subject in speech or writing. So discourse is more than just a conversation. It's more than a casual conversation. It's more than a chat. It is a serious discussion about an issue. So our big idea says that when you write an editorial, you are contributing to the community discourse or the community discussion about an important topic. So unlike short stories where you wrote the short story for yourself, for me, if you shared it with somebody else, you shared it with somebody else, there's a different reason to write short stories. When you write an editorial, you are participating. You're adding your viewpoint, your opinion, and hopefully influencing the opinion of others in this discussion that's happening around this particular issue. I come over here and I jump up and down and I hit this sign a lot and I talk to you about wanting your powerful communication, your communication to be powerful so that people will listen to you and take your ideas seriously. This is it. This is one of those places where you have the ability to affect change, to influence opinion. And we want to make sure that we get you ready to do that because that's a life skill. So those are our big ideas for the reading and the writing in this unit. Our essential questions. For reading, the question we're going to focus on and that you're going to come up with an answer with, how does questioning a text deepen my understanding of the issue and the author's perspective on it? We've done a lot of questioning in the short story unit. You question the character. You guys are professional questioners. It's one of our 7 reading strategies. We're going to keep going with that and look at how this time you're not going to be asking questions of a character. You're going to be asking questions about an issue, kind of critical thinking questions. You can ask questions to the question for writing is very straightforward and simple. How do I convince my audience? How do you do that? In writing, what do you need to do to convince someone that you're right? What do you think, Mustafa? Interesting. Exaggerating. Are you often convinced by people you believe to be exaggerating? If you think that someone is exaggerating, do you believe it? No. Julia? Facts. Data, evidence. Facts will help convince. So that's one thing. What else would convince an audience? Yusuf?
Strong words.
Strong words. We're going to talk a lot about words and the specific kinds of words to use in an editorial that are strong but not so severe that you alienate people. Chloe, what else?
A good use of voice.
A good use of voice. How could voice help convince someone?
It can help show the perspective better.
It can show your perspective better.
Yeah.
One of the things we'll talk about today in the attributes is that voice is important in an editorial because drop your screens, there's no need to be on the computer right now. In an editorial, you need to be thinking about voice because you want to be subtle. You don't want to slam your reader across the face with your issue and get them defensive. You want to be careful in the way that you present it so that it's easier for them to receive it if they might not agree with you, and that has to do with voice for sure. All right, so these are our essential questions. You will be able to answer them by the end of this unit, and you've already got some ideas on how to convince your audience, and we're going to talk about more of that as we go through, okay? What I want you to do now is open up your computers, get out your homework where you brainstorm the attributes of an editorial. I want you to move your seats so that you are huddled around the computers. All three of you can see all three computers. Or in this case, Mira, Amin, Chloe, and Claire get together at a table group together. Look at your laptops and find places where your attributes overlap. If Christian found an attribute that he thought was part of an editorial and Julia found it and Maud, you're probably on the right track. So I want you to look at the ones that overlap, and when you're ready to start adding them to the charts, let me know and I'll get you a marker.
Guys, where are you guys?